Good morning, students. In our previous lecture, we had studied about the cell and its discovery, and we have also seen that the multicellular organisms they perform division of labor. Similarly, the cells of multicellular organism they also perform division of labor because of cell organelles. We'll discuss about cell organelles in upcoming lectures, but before that, we'll understand and study about the structure of a cell and its components. To know the structure of cell, let's perform an experiment with a sample of onion cell. We take an onion and cut out a peel and place under microscope. We see a structure somewhat like this. And when we observe, we get three important components of cell. The small rooms which are enclosed by walls, they are known as cells, and each of these cells encloses a wall called as plasma membrane or cell membrane. Inside the cell, there is something which fills up the cell, that is a fluid substance which is known as cytoplasm. And you would also see a dot-like structure which is called nucleus. These three are most important structure of a cell. Other than these three structures, a cell has many other components which are called cell organelles and will study in upcoming lectures. So when I talk about structural organization of cell, a cell has these components. First, plasma membrane. Second, cell wall which is found in plant cell. Third, nucleus. Fourth, cytoplasm. And the fifth one, cell organelles. So now let's start with plasma membrane. What is plasma membrane? It is also called as cell membrane. It is thin, delicate, living, and outermost covering of cell. It ensures the protection of the cell. For example, when you stay at home, you feel secure because you are surrounded by walls. Similarly, cells they are secured because they are surrounded by plasma membrane which protects them. Cell membrane or plasma membrane is also selectively permeable membrane. So let's understand what is selectively permeable membrane. The word selectively means to select, permeable means to permit. It means plasma membrane selects what to go inside and come inside into and from the cell. For example, if you see here, the door selects only one component to go inside and come outside, and it rejects the other bigger component. It means movement of substances in and out of cell is because plasma membrane act as a boundary of cell. So whatever has to come or go, it has to cross the plasma membrane. Or we can say plasma membrane act as a boundary to the cell. It checks what to come inside and what to leave the cell. There are two processes which are involved in the movement of substances. The first process is known as diffusion and the other process is known as osmosis. So let's discuss first about diffusion. So before understand diffusion, let's understand about concentration. And to understand concentration, we need some water and salt. What is concentration? Concentration is a measure of one particular substance in a solution. Not very clear? Right. That is why we have salt and water. Let's take a beaker and add a few spoons of salt in it. There is two components in the solution. One is the salt and other one is the water. Where the salt is known as the solute and the water is known as the solvent in a solution. So, the measure of salt in this solution is called salt concentration and the measure of water in this solution is called the water concentration. Now, when you have an idea about what concentration is, let's understand what is diffusion. If you see here, one glass contains water and to it add some colored salt. So the concentration of salt is higher at this corner, but slowly it moves towards the lower concentration and spread throughout the glass. This movement of substances from higher concentration to lower concentration is called diffusion. Usually, gaseous exchange across plasma membrane take place by the process of diffusion. So, Diffusion helps in gaseous exchange between cells as well as cell and its external environment. Let's understand with an example. If you see figure 1, concentration of CO2 is higher in cell A than cell B. So, diffusion of carbon dioxide occurs from A to B, that is, from higher concentration to lower concentration. Similarly, if you see figure 2, concentration of CO2 is higher inside the cell than the external medium. So, CO2 moves from its higher concentration towards its lower concentration, that is, from cell to external medium. Now, let's see how the metabolic gases, that is CO2 and O2, move across the cell membrane by the process of diffusion. We know that CO2 is produced during cellular respiration in the cells. So, the concentration of CO2 increases inside the cell as compared to the outside, that is the external medium. As soon as there is a difference of concentration of CO2 inside and outside a cell, CO2 moves out of the cell from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration outside the cell by the process of diffusion. Similarly, O2 enters the cell by the process of diffusion when the concentration of O2 inside the cell decreases. Thus, diffusion plays an important role in gaseous exchange between the cells as well as the cell and its external environment. Let's see what are the importance of diffusion. First, gaseous exchange. Diffusion helps in exchange of respiratory gases between the cells and their environment. Second, transpiration. Loss of water in vapor form from the aerial parts of the plant is due to the process of diffusion. Third, osmosis. It is a special type of diffusion where only solvent is allowed to diffuse. About osmosis, we'll study ahead. And the last one, aroma. Flowers spread aroma through diffusion to attract the insects and other animals for the process of pollination. About osmosis in the next lecture. Now, let's see what is the structure of plasma membrane. The plasma membrane is flexible and it is made up of organic molecules called lipids and proteins, and the structures can only be seen through an electron microscope. Functions of plasma membrane. First, shape. It provides a definite shape to semi-fluid contents of the cell. Second, mechanical barrier. It functions as a mechanical barrier that protects the internal contents of the cell. Third, selective permeability. The membrane determines what substances are to be allowed entry or exit from the cell. Fourth, endocytosis. The flexibility of the membrane enables the cell to engulf food and other substances from its external environment by a process known as endocytosis, and amoeba acquires its food by this method only. So let's understand the definition and meaning of endocytosis with an example of unicellular organism known as amoeba. As we all know, amoeba is an irregular shaped unicellular organism. The cell membrane extends to form pseudopodia and engulfs the foreign material from the external environment. This process of taking the food into the body with the help of the extension of the cell membrane, because the cell membrane is flexible, is known as endocytosis. I hope it's clear to everybody. So, in the next lecture, we'll proceed ahead with osmosis. Thank you.